A country with no army that has been at peace for 80 years. Do you want to know the secret? Let me tell you. You've probably heard the phrase, ignorance is bliss. But what if I told you there's a country that has chosen ignorance on purpose? A place where there are no armed forces, no tanks, no guns, and no preparation for attacks. Can you imagine such a nation existing today, especially in the 20th century, a time of intense conflicts and wars? It seems crazy, but not in Costa Rica. This little country nestled between Nicaragua and Panama decided to take a leap of faith. And the craziest thing, it's been at peace for 80 years. How did they do it? Let's find out. On December 2nd, 1948, the streets were empty. Only a few people gathered near the building of the old military barracks. The atmosphere was heavy with tension and anxiety. Days before, a civil war had shaken the country, leaving deep wounds. Amidst the ruins, hope flickered. A new era was about to begin. On that balcony, a man raised his head. His name was José Figueres Ferrer. He held a worn-out pickaxe. It looked ordinary, almost insignificant. But what happened next shook everyone to the core. Before the eyes of the nation, perhaps the world, he smashed the walls of the military barracks. It was a symbolic gesture, yet it marked the beginning of a historic transformation. In that moment, the walls didn't just crumble. They took down the entire system of the army. And soon, it would become the first country in history to completely abolish its military. It was a bold move. The rest of the world hadn't shown such courage. Dictatorships tightened their grip. Conflicts intensified, and military spending skyrocketed. Meanwhile, Costa Rica dismantled its own army. It seemed like a crazy idea, right? But how did this adventure start? In 1940, the winds of change began to stir in Costa Rica. World War II raged in Europe, and Figueres, a young military officer, returned home after serving in the Spanish Civil War. He witnessed firsthand the horrors of war and realized he didn't want that for his country. When the war broke out in Costa Rica, he resigned from the army and joined the resistance against the dictator, Rafael Angel Calderón Guardia. After much effort, they succeeded in overthrowing the dictator in 1948. But what came next was even more challenging: choosing the future of the nation. The victorious group found itself divided. Some wanted to establish a new dictatorship. Others dreamed of a strong socialist state. But Figueres proposed something totally different. Inspired by the ideas of pacifism and democracy, he convinced the others to turn the barracks into a farm. They agreed, and in a ceremony filled with symbolism, Figueres took the pickaxe, walked up to the wall, and broke it down. It was a simple act, yet it echoed around the world. From then on, Costa Rica invested all its resources in its citizens, not weapons. The money saved from the military budget was directed towards education, healthcare, and the environment. For many, it seemed like an idyllic idea. But what about attacks and threats? Well, since then, no nation has dared to attack Costa Rica. However, it hasn't been solely luck or fear of retaliation. The nation has created a powerful system of civilian police focused on intelligence. Plus, it has maintained strong ties with neighboring countries, which act as a form of collective security. It's almost as if Costa Rica's pacifism had become a shield. Despite living in a region plagued by conflicts and violence, Costa Rica remained untouched. The gamble paid off. Let's travel back in time to 1955. Mercenaries led by American pilot and adventurer Casimiro entered the country. Their mission, to restore the former dictator to power. The plan was supported by neighboring Nicaragua and powerful figures within the Costa Rican elite. But the invasion failed. And why? The Costa Rican people rose up in defense of their democracy and their hard-won peace. The rest of the story is legend. The neighbors intervened, but not militarily. They pressured Nicaragua to end its support for the mercenaries, and thus, the tranquility of Costa Rica was restored. The world acknowledged Costa Rica's bravery and efforts to maintain peace. Leaders worldwide recognized its example. Costa Rica didn't isolate itself due to mistrust, nor did it seek revenge or impose sanctions. Instead, it continued to forge diplomatic ties, sending a clear message. Peace was its top priority. Over the years, its strategy proved successful. Even during the Cold War, when tensions threatened to engulf the planet, Costa Rica remained calm. Why? It had eliminated the very thing that causes wars: its army. But the question arises, can we apply this model elsewhere? Some experts point out that Costa Rica's case is unique. It benefited from several factors, including the absence of serious external enemies, a strong democratic tradition, and the leadership of visionaries like José Figueres. However, others argue that it's precisely these circumstances that make it possible. If Costa Rica can do it, why not others? To succeed, it's essential to have strong institutions, well-trained personnel, and above all, political will. Costa Rica's success shows that it's possible to live without an army. Can we imagine a world without war, without weapons? Perhaps it's utopian, but Costa Rica offers a glimmer of hope. Today, the former military barracks stands proudly as a testament to that day. Now known as the National Museum of Costa Rica, it houses exhibits that narrate the journey from war to peace, from weapons to books. The site serves as a reminder of the power of dialogue and the futility of arms, but the impact goes beyond Costa Rica's borders. It has inspired other nations to follow its path. Countries like Iceland and Panama have also dismantled their armies and opted for peaceful coexistence. And what happened after the army was gone? Everything changed for the better. Costa Rica's investment in education has yielded impressive results. Currently, over 6% of its GDP is allocated to this sector, one of the highest percentages worldwide. Access to quality education has been key to the development of its society. In terms of health, the story is similar. Costa Rica boasts one of the best healthcare systems in Latin America, thanks to the resources previously destined for the military. It's a system accessible to all, ensuring the well-being of its citizens. And if we talk about the environment, Costa Rica shines as a global leader in renewable energy. More than 98% of its electricity generation comes from clean sources, primarily hydropower. This commitment to sustainability is the result of redirecting investments away from weapons and toward the environment. Costa Rica has managed to protect over 25% of its land with national parks and natural reserves. It's home to an incredible array of biodiversity. This achievement wouldn't have been possible if the country hadn't chosen peace over war, nature over weapons. Today, Costa Rica is among the 10 happiest countries globally. Although it's not one of the wealthiest, its commitment to peace, education, and the environment has forged a society that values well-being, not material possessions. Life expectancy in Costa Rica is higher than in many developed countries. This is largely due to its social policies, access to quality healthcare, and a strong sense of community. People tend to live longer and healthier lives in Costa Rica than in many other nations. In conclusion, Costa Rica's story is a beacon of hope. It demonstrates that it's possible to live without an army, to prioritize peace over war, and to invest in people rather than weapons. Its journey has not been easy, but the results speak for themselves. A flourishing democracy, a thriving economy, universal healthcare, quality education, and a strong commitment to the environment. All of this has been achieved thanks to the courage of those who dared to dream of a different future. The legacy of Jose Figueres and his companions continues to inspire generations. In Costa Rica, the decision to eliminate the army was not just a political act. It was a profound ethical, social, and environmental choice. If you found this story interesting, I invite you to subscribe to my channel, El Rincón de Gia. Every week I bring you incredible stories like this one that challenge your perception of reality and expand your horizons. Give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends so they can also embark on this journey through knowledge and enlightenment. And remember, the most significant battles aren't fought with weapons, but with ideas, with education, with health, and with peace. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep seeking truth. I bid you farewell.